Welcome to American Patriots Have Responded. I'm Bill Moss. I'm your host. Today, I want to share with you some headlines, and then I want to tie together yesterday's show with this Mutiny USA investigation. I told you I would, and I'm going to. But before I do, let me say that I'm the founder of CitizensAgainstTerrorism.org. We work with the police. We help to keep our community safe in times of civil unrest, and other times anything they need us to do to support them, we will. In areas where police are not protecting our cities, we will protect our cities ourselves if necessary. We also help with items such as floods, fires, all types of natural disasters. We have helped to evacuate people from the fires in Oregon, the floods in Florida, and also we've helped to repair homes in Alabama. We've done all this since June 25th when we first were founded. I'm hoping that you will like this show, that you will subscribe to this show, so that we can continue to bring you current events. And when we bring you the current events, we're going to bring them to you. We're going to give you the facts. We will have commentary, but the commentary are our personal opinions. They have nothing to do with the show, the channel, or the organization Citizens Against Terrorism. These are just strictly the commentators' views, the views of the guest, the views of the callers, and the views of the host. But the facts we give you are fair and balanced, and we hope that you will look at them and make decisions in your life that not only affect you, but affect the whole country as a whole. Remember, America has to stand together, and when we start looking out for ourselves and no one else, that's when we fail. So today I want to bring you the first little tidbit of news. Rapper 50 Cent today endorsed President Donald J. Trump after seeing Joe Biden's proposed tax plan. It seems that his tax rate in California for state tax alone would raise to 62.8% of his income before federal tax, according to the figures just released on One America News just a few hours ago. As a following to yesterday's show, both the Director of National Intelligence and the FBI agree that the computer turned into the FBI, and they have in evidence, is Hunter Biden's computer. They also have his signature on the agreement he signed when he dropped it off. The Director of National Intelligence said this is not, repeat, this is not a Russian disinformation operation. That only leaves one other possibility, as far as I can see it. It appears to be that the information we're hearing, the information I gave you yesterday, seems to be true. Now, let's turn a little bit to the mail-in ballots. An interesting thing happened here in my home state in Kentucky in the last few days. A postal worker was fired for throwing away 100 mail-in ballots. Now this is interesting because our mail-in ballots aren't like other states. They don't just send them out and then you just get them and fill them out. You have to request these ballots. Now we've been told that the ballots, the absentee ballots that you request, are much safer. But apparently, when they're put in the mail, they're still not safe. This only goes to show that no ballot sent by mail is safe. If we can't rely on the integrity of the postal workers, if we can't rely on the integrity of the government, if we can't rely on the integrity of the vote, how can we rely on the integrity of anything in this country? This to me seems to be just another part of a move to falsify election returns, falsify election results. I've been afraid all along that the elections would be unfair. It could go either way unfair, too. Who's to say that more Republicans does not receive ballots that are dead Republicans don't receive more ballots than dead Democrats, or vice versa? The question has been on the Republican side that this was going to be a problem, and it has proven to be a problem with ballots being thrown away, ballots being dumped out in different places. We had a video a while back I saw where a postal worker was dumping the what appeared to be ballots out of trays in the back of his vehicle. There is a group called the Election Integrity Project who has just notified California in a letter telling them that 440 questionable ballots were sent out to voters who have deceased. Not 440, 440,000 questionable ballots have been sent out to voters who have deceased over the past 20 years this year. 440,000 questionable ballots sent out this year to voters who have deceased in the past 20 years. Now, I want to bring another headline that I call is July 31st of 2019. Joe Biden said there was no place for fracking or fossil fuels in his administration's plans. He now denies it. He also claimed to have the backing of the Boilermakers Union in Pennsylvania. However, the president of the Boilermaker, who was just on television on Fox News, says they have not backed him. He also said Biden has flip-flopped on his position and Donald Trump has not. They are not backing Joe Biden. This is a crucial race tonight because this is the night they'll be voting. The day they'll be voting. It should be over by now, so this won't affect any election, but I want to bring that to light. Now, Joe Schaufstahl wrote an article in the Free Beacon Press on August 24th, I believe it was. Let me check this paper here. On August 24th of 2020, the Washington Free Beacon, and it says that liberal fake news site spends millions on deceptive Facebook campaign. Remember we talked about Facebook last night? Now we're going to talk about it again. Okay. Facebook is being used. It's being manipulated. They're only letting certain people express how they feel. They're only letting certain people post political views. They're only letting certain people do things. And unfortunately, it's all one-sided. Just today, another Republican rep, Andy Biggs, was blocked on Twitter. This is another problem. This fake news site they're talking about is called Courier Newsroom. It's a news site that is bankrolled by a Democratic fundraising network. Okay, it's taken a 7-figure ad campaign as of August 24th, pushing flattering pieces on Facebook to about vulnerable House Democrats. It's got millions of impressions on social media. This is an eye-popping number and evidence of a new frontier in political advertisement as political organizations operating under the guise of news outlets push content to improve impressionable swing state voters. This is quoting from the article. The candidates' Courier boost on Facebook overlaps substantially with candidates backed by top Democrat donors. Laurel Powell Jobs, the billionaire widow of Apple pioneer Steve Jobs, and LinkedIn founder Reid Hoffman. The so-called newsroom, I'm still quoting, I'm reading you this article because you need to hear this article. The so-called newsroom, by pushing pieces that mirror the candidates' own press releases, provides a complementary outlet for Democrats to pursue their political goals. Courier Newsroom is funded by the left-wing nonprofit Acronym, which counts Jobs and Hoffman among its highest donors. While Jobs denied funding Courier Newsroom, her parallel donations make clear that Courier shares the same political goals as Acronym's billionaire donors. Jobs, worth an estimated $26.8 million, has engaged as a top Democrat donor and media titan, investing in news outlets from The Atlantic to Axios and Mother Jones. As a donor to Acronym, she has effectively blurred the lines between the two. The election cycle, Courier has boasted nearly a dozen vulnerable Democrat candidates on Facebook, where its posts have reached millions of users. According to Facebook analytics, those candidates include Democrat Representatives Lauren Underwood III, Xochitl Torres Small of New Mexico, I said the third, that was of Illinois, Josette Torres Small of New Mexico, Andy Kim of New Jersey, Abigail Spanberger of Virginia, Antonia Delgado of New York, Max Rosen, New York, and Jared Golden of Maine. Jobs and Hoffman have maxed out to all those campaigns. Courier has come under scrutiny in recent months as Facebook seeks to differentiate news outlets from political persuasion operations. Now I want you to listen to this part. Courier chief among them. But while a new Facebook policy will exclude Courier articles from Facebook's newsfeed and require a disclaimer on the ads noting they are paid for by Courier, the group is not required to disclose that it is a Democratic political operation. Sounds to me like some cover-up of Facebook again. We're going to exclude them unless they put this on there, but at the same time, we're not going to make them put it all on there, that what side it's for or what they're doing. Okay, that was my part. Now back to the article. Anna Masgolia, a dark money researcher at the Center for Responsive Politics, who has written extensively on fake news outlets, including Courier, said Facebook's disclosure remains confusing for precisely the voters Courier is targeting. There is little to alert the average user that these state-focused outlets are connected to a dark money operation with a political agenda, and they may color articles they publish. Mascolia told the Washington Free Beacon, readers may be unaware they aren't actually homegrown state or local news outlets, but are actually part of a bigger network tied to a dark money operation funded by anonymous donors. Several Democratic political operatives have moved between Acronym, Facebook, and Democrat nominee Joe Biden's presidential campaign, including Chris Cox, a one-time Acronym advisor who now serves as Facebook's chief product officer. David Plouffe, a senior advisor to both Acronym and Facebook, CEO Mark Zuckerberg's philanthropy, and Jeff Zients, a former Facebook board member and current Biden advisor. Nearly all of the politicians aided by the Courier are locked into competitive races, and the outlet operates by pushing its articles in front of persuadable voters on Facebook. The ads are targeted at voters in each politician's district, making it an attractive avenue for donors looking to sway voters. The organization is beginning to attract the attention of local news reports. Also, too, Maine's Sun Journal reported earlier this month on Courier's efforts to boost Democratic Representative Jared Golden writing a fake online newspaper that aims to elect Democrats to Congress, has spent at least $50,000 this year on social media advertising. That promoted its stories, touting U.S. Representative Jared Golden, a Lewiston Democrat who is seeking re-election in a district he nearly won 2 years ago. Acronym made national headlines during the Democrats' Iowa caucus. It was the primary investor in the firm that produced a flawed vote tallying application that made it impossible for the party to determine the winner. Acronym President Terry McGowan initially attempted to distance Acronym from the firm, and Plouffe, in an NBC appearance, denied any knowledge of the connection between the two groups. McGowan lashed out at Facebook after it announced it would remove Courier's stories from its newsfeed. Facebook classifies right-wing misinformation farms, including Daily Caller plus Breitbart News, as verified news publishers, plus verified fact-checkers on their platform, yet wrote a policy to restrict progressive Courier newsrooms from spreading the truth. The double standard is unapologetic, she wrote on Twitter. It goes on to say the Daily Caller and Breitbart, however, are not linked to political organizations. Acronym's sister group, Pacronym, is a Democratic super PAC funded by the billionaire, get it again, here he is, boys and girls, billionaire George Soros, among others. Pacronym pushes millions to another affiliated organization called Lockwood Strategy, a private digital firm owned by Acronym. Courier has rolled out digital outlets with local reporters in swing states, including Arizona, Michigan, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and Wisconsin. Acronym did not respond to a request when asked for one. To a response when asked for one from the Washington Free Beacon. So here we go again. We've got, in this news thing, we've got billionaires. We exposed some more tonight, right? Laura Powell Jobs, Reid Hoffman, and our old friend George Soros. He's always involved. You know, I tell my people when we're doing these investigations, we will turn over a rock, and of all the snakes that crawl out, there's one that is always there, and that is George Soros. He is the snake under every rock. Now, is George Soros the biggest money player here? Possibly. But it's starting to look like there's more. Maybe more richer people involved. And as we continue our investigation, we're going to get to the bottom of it. Now, Soros might just be the poster boy for the billionaires. It's hard to say. But he is active in all these groups that we have turned over so far, including the Courier newsroom. He is active in all these activist groups that we have come out. He is a big donor to the Democrat Party. He has worked with Obama to redraw district guidelines to make Virginia a blue state. He also has worked with Obama and his money to fund campaigns for progressive prosecutors who will not prosecute these people that are destroying our country. He's pushing for open borders. He is pushing for getting rid of the police. He is pushing for shutting down the prisons and the jail systems. Do you realize what that means in our country? George Soros needs to be stopped. Now, I said before, Rand Paul said, where's the money coming from? Where's the money coming from? He never said that before him and his wife were cornered outside of the RNC. And he feared for his life. He never said that when innocent people were being assaulted in the street. He's never said that when people were being murdered in the street. He's never said that when the police were being murdered. We never heard him say that until the day after him and his wife got cornered in the street and they feared for their life. Now, I would like Rand Paul to come on to my show and talk to me. I would like Rand Paul to sit down and talk to me and tell me what he has done since he made that statement. I have heard nothing else. You've seen how easily we keep turning up these documents. You've seen how easily we keep showing the groups that are connected in the violence in the streets. You see how easily we turn up these documents that points fingers right to these people. These are not internet statements somebody has wrote. These are news articles. These are documents right off of the guilty people's own pages, including George Soros. Now, I'd like to know, Mr. Paul, when will you stand up? I would like to know, Miss Pelosi, when will you stand up? When will you, Rand Paul, stand up to find out where this money's coming from? When will you, Miss Pelosi, stand up and denounce black supremacy? When will you? I'm looking at both sides of the aisle tonight, and I'm not happy. And I'm also wanting to know when Joe Biden will stand up and denounce the riots in our streets. I want to know when Kamala Harris will do so, when they will denounce black supremacy. All we hear about is one side denouncing this, one side denouncing that, but they do not want to even accept what their side's doing. Jerry Nadler says Antifa does not exist. Yet they are a terrorist group, a domestic terrorist group, and they have been locking some of them up. You can't lock somebody up that does not exist. A person that does not exist cannot assassinate a patriot prayer warrior. A person that does not exist cannot execute a man on the streets of Denver. This needs to stop. I'm tired of the fake news. I'm tired of the fake social networks. I'm tired of it all. And I'm going to keep going. And my investigators will keep going until we get to the bottom of this. It might take us 10 years. But when we're done, you'll know the truth. It might be too late to save our nation, but we will find out the truth. Now, if you haven't voted yet, I suggest you go back through Mutiny USA Special Investigation before you do. I suggest that you follow it up. Right now, the episodes can be found on blogtalkradio.com. They're still up. I just checked. We are going to be moving them to this platform as soon as possible. We have had a lot of things happen during the transition from one network to another. We're glad to be at Rumble where we can speak and we don't have to worry about being censored. Facebook has gotten so bad, I just put, hey, if you want to see tonight's episode, come to rumble.com. Because if I put on there what's going on, we'll be kicked off. We'll be kicked off. My personal pages have been tore down. I can't use none of my personal emails to even get on. So I urge you to buck up. Do your homework. We got 14 days left, folks. And if you haven't voted, I suggest you wait till after the next debate, if there even is one. I suggest you look at the moderator and how they act. I suggest you look at the questions that are being asked of the candidates. After the release of Hunter Biden's laptop, President Trump called the Bidens criminals. You know what they asked Joe Biden? What flavor of ice cream did you buy, sir? That's right. That's right. Now, you tell me there's not a one-sided media in this country? If they would have looked at Joe Biden and or anybody else that was accusing Donald Trump and started questioning them like they have questioned Trump, and then turn around and ask Trump, what type of ice cream did you buy, sir? The left would be furious. I don't know why the right's not. Where's the indignation that goes both ways? I'm not going to pick sides because it's our job to keep the peace. But I'm going to bring you the truth. And if it costs me, so it be. But continue to visit us at Rumble. Rumble.com. You will find it worth your while. Please subscribe. Please look in the comments. I will put our PayPal link on there. We are Citizens Against Terrorism is a nonprofit, and we're here for the good of the communities, to protect the communities, to back our police, to help in natural disasters. And when all this mess is straightened up, we plan on trying to open community centers where we can help people with food assistance. We can help them with utility assistance. We can help them with things that you can't buy, that you can't get when you're on food stamps and welfare very easily. Hygiene products, laundry detergent, dish liquid, soap, shampoo, toothbrushes, toothpaste, shaving cream and razors for men and women, and female hygiene products, toilet paper and other necessities that you often run short of and don't have the money for. We will coordinate with you to get all of your state and local benefits, and then we will step in to help fill the gap at the end of the month to get you through it, if at all possible. But all this is going to take some money. All this is going to take some money. So I urge you to go down to the comment section on the video on rumble.com and to hit the PayPal link and give us a donation. It's tax deductible, and I believe you will be blessed in the end. We're right now in 34 cities and 17 states, and I hope that we continue to grow. Not bad since 25th of June of this year. We have been out in the roughest of places, and we have been into the fires and the floods, and we've been trying to help put houses back together, and we've done it all for you. We're a group of people that's community service orientated. We have a special little thing we do without you knowing who we are. If we find you having trouble, we help you out, and if you offer to pay us, we won't take it. We just tell you to pass it on to the next fella if you got a chance to help somebody. That's the way our life should be. It's time we get past this division. It's time we get past this manufactured racial hating, this baiting of each other, this destruction, and these assaults and these murders. And until next time, I just want to say to our police officers out there, I salute you. At this time in my life, I cannot see how I would continue to serve under what you're having to put up with. But I thank you for it. And we have your back. And to the rest of you, God bless you. Thank you for listening. God keep your home safe. And God bless America.